peep shorty from a distance, walking in the club like goddamn, who is this? Nice tight dress to compliment her thickness. Eyeliner, highlighter, can't forget the lipstick. Got more drip on her than a wet raincoat. Attitude so fierce, had them hoes take note. Designer wardrobe like she on slave mode. All her girlfriends popping, they all got the same glow like They know how to allure their essence, adore their presence, secure attention. The more the glamour, the more the flex with. Tryna make a move on her before she exits. Shorty over there in the VIP, so I approached her, that's what I did. Know you came here looking like a...
Hi everybody, welcome to Mind Your Business podcast. I'm Liz.
I'm Noelle.
And we're your hosts today. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff on this show here, but God, how long have I been wanting to do this? I've been telling you this for like a long time. I've been wanting to do podcasts about marriage, relationships, and all that stuff, but I kept noticing that I kept something was missing.
Me.
And of course, it was my Noelle. What was it? Our high school reunion that we got to?
And tipsy, y'all.
We were talking about relationships, who came with who.
We were talking shit.
Yeah, like always. And it clicked because I kept trying to figure, because everyone's like, Liz, when are you gonna do your podcast? When are you gonna do your podcast? And then I was just like, I have all these ideas. And then it was like, oh, you gotta write this out. And I was like, God, there's something missing. And it was a point of view of a single person who chose not to get married.
Forever.
What was it? 2003. No children with 2003. We kept saying.
Oh yeah, no. And what? I don't remember. Kids free in 2023.
And I am not kid free. So I have a 4-year-old, soon to be 5, going on 25. Married for 7, gonna go on 7 years.
Dang, it's been that long?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. What is that? 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And I've been single for 38 years. I'm really 25, y'all. I'm really 25.
And she was in bridesmaids in my wedding. It was like so great to have that whole, because I wanted the whole Cinderella fairy tale.
You got it.
And, going through the church, going through the systems, everything we have to do. But then also now I see like friends of mine who are single and the struggle is real. Like,
I just choose not to struggle. I'm rich.
God.
I'm healthy. I am wealthy.
I don't know. So then that just also like brings up the question, the question that everybody asks: to be single or married?
Be single, y'all.
Get married. No, because I am, happily married. I'm not gonna say that marriage is easy, is the best thing in the world and stuff. It takes work. But
you gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work, and you gotta do the work together. Not
and
just
these
one
hoes
person.
ain't doing no work.
No, and I'm not even just the dudes. It's the girls, bitches be crazy, and I'm just so it's just more like, dang girl, like did you hear about this fool over here and stuff, or reading the Reddit post from Am I an Asshole one?
Those are my favorite.
Where I'm just reading some of these blogs, I'm like, is this shit for real? Like, are people really having, some of the issues are really ridiculous, and some of them are just like,
it's real.
But single
is great. No responsibilities.
No, see?
I can travel when I want. My money is mine.
Mm-hmm.
I got friends. We do our thing. We talk our smack. You got to worry about diapers. And not anymore, but
No, I know.
I
know. And then you just became an aunt, so it's always nice to be like, oh, baby.
Y'all, I didn't think I was going to like babies. I love my niece.
Yeah.
But I like her going back to her creator. So much fun. I get her hype and then I'm like, goodbye.
Well, and I always love kids, with my sister, with all the kids that she had, and the same thing. I was like, oh.
She didn't have that many guys.
she had 4. So that's hard. And so I have one, and we trying for another one. And let me just tell you, sometimes I was like, she had a little meltdown this morning too. And so I was just like, do we want to? But then when she comes in, I saw you, and I'm like, okay, my baby, I want more. Oh yeah, she's me. She's my twin.
That's
so
fair.
it's like the attitude thing. But I mean, it's just like even not being married and having kids and, you know, being the baby mamas, having baby daddies and
I
stuff.
got opinions, y'all.
Yes, it's hard. And I know some single moms are wonderful. And I know some single dads that are like, wow, I don't know how I could do it without him. I can just imagine being single.
I got some opinions on that one.
I'm doing that too. So it's just more like the stereotype of getting married and pushing you. Oh, you're getting older.
I get that like all the time.
You're old and you're gonna be a spinster and an old maid.
I got my cat lady sweater right behind me.
And I was I was 30 when I got married because I was like, you know what? Let me do my thing. Like, make sure I have a job. Let me sure I have a place to live and have everything. And then I had to date people and make sure they had everything too.
Dating is trash.
God, I mean, thank God for my husband, but God, my track record was not good. Like those ex of mine, do you remember? God, even remember the Italian stallion, the one when I was like only 20, 21 and stuff. Mm-hmm. What a douche.
We're not saying his
We're
name.
not saying names. What a douche. And it was mostly,
He's the reason why I got on MySpace.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
You know
but
what?
anyway,
I think that's when even Facebook came.
Facebook was only for college people, and we were not.
And we were not. We were still little, still understanding. But it was the whole, you know, single, and then I'm your girlfriend when you want to, and then I'm not your girlfriend when you didn't want to. And
He was
so
playing them games, y'all.
yeah, and so that was hard. And playing games is just like that is takes your mind and thinking you're the problem too and stuff. And well, even with Mateo, I think I was single for like a year because I was like, I'm done.
I remember.
I'm tired. I can't do this shit no more. I was like,
but I also remember going to Christy, and she was like, she's gonna get married.
yeah. And then I'm just gonna have a baby, and you're just like, what?
I'm like, where's my road dog?
Because it was. I did.
It's okay. It's okay.
You know, I got married. I had the baby, and then have the family and stuff. But it's like, you know, they say marry or whatever changes you. I'm still the same person.
No, she's still the same.
I just have a little person now. That's my twin with me here.
Yeah, but that's why you.
And I said, but I'm still the same person. I just got more responsibilities. Was that for Rugrats?
Oh, I don't want responsibilities. I saw that.
I know, me too. I was watching with her. She gave it away. But it was just, it's funny on how we were and stuff. And I mean, we do have to change for the better. You know, we're growing up, have to be adults.
I have grown like fine wine. I've gotten better with time.
Okay? You have.
I'm just saying.
And then you can't drink it because
I'm allergic to wine, guys. We'll talk about that another time.
But it just seems, it's kind of crazy on how I see a friend of mine who just had a baby, a handsome little guy, and her dude was super cool, but she just came to the idea, like, he's not gonna change. He's not gonna do this. And I'm sorry, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Well, people have to want to change.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people are very comfortable in living in fear, so they don't change. It's easy to stay stagnant. It's easy to stay in that place.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of my relationships, it was like guys being not men, being babies and whiners and like, oh, I can do that. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, babe, you know. And then that's where I thought I'm supporting you. So, but it was
the way
just,
I am side-eyeing those situations.
Yes.
Because I see them on a regular basis. They're stupid. They're dumb. We don't say the R word anymore, but they're that too.
But these are grown-ass men. And I say, after 25, like, no, you need to have your shit together. And if you don't, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get that shit together for you.
No.
No
projects.
No projects. Yes, because the only project we're doing is do-it-yourself shelves or cleaning your makeup and stuff.
Right.
We are not taking care of no man and then I already have a child. I don't need to train another child. I already have a dog too. I don't need to train anymore. And that's what I found it too. And so I kept saying, you know, I do want to get married one day. That was always, and I don't know if you know how they're like, oh, when I was a little girl, I dreamt
of a wedding all the time.
All
it
the
wasn't
time
at the bells,
and
the
stuff.
whistles.
Yeah.
It was gonna be a V-neck in the front, a V-neck in the back.
It still could be if you decide though.
Maybe.
Only if you decide. I know it's before I used to be like, oh, you're gonna get getting married? Are you gonna? Now I'm just like, girl, if
First
you
two
can.
letters of my name, and oh no.
Yeah, is enjoy your
don't
life.
want it.
Enjoy your life. Why are these dudes dating like these 20-year-olds and they're like in their 40s?
Because they don't know
and stuff?
anything.
They don't. And then
It's easy to play them.
But as you notice, not a lot of doing that because now these girls are like, I'm sorry, I'm independent. I got a job. I don't need you.
Think TikTok and all social media because they're like, the access. They see all of it and they're taking it to heart.
I do. And so even just getting married and, you know, a friend of mine went through a really bad divorce. Another one of mine is separated. But it was like, my good friend that separated, she's like, I'm always rooting for you. I'm always rooting. You know, if we have an issue, she's just like, well, what's going on? You know, talk it out. But in her relationship, unfortunately, it was that.
You gotta have
it
someone
was
to work
the, oh, you don't understand me. It was the manipulation, gaslighting. It was just like, I mean, it was just like, is this for real? And so then now I was telling my husband about all these relationships, all these relationships that I've been in, and then you think back of all the red flags.
I just a roster. I'm not a hoe, guys.
But red flags, that's all you hear about now. I never paid attention where I was like, damn, that was a big ass like in your face.
Gosh, the way I would ignore red flags and be like, I love you.
And like,
no,
you don't know, you don't understand, you don't understand. So when all these youngins come over here like, oh, you don't know, I'm like, girl, I've been there, done that, and even
we're talking like our parents now.
Yeah.
Well, in my
you guys,
day,
okay, you were right. I'll give you one.
I'm not gonna give them none, 0. They have nothing.
I was like, okay, you're right, but it's mostly but sometimes I say it's like I have to learn from my mistakes, so let me figure it out the hard way. And I know your family and your friends don't want you to and stuff. And so I had a lot of friends, especially with the Italian one, like, Liz, you're better than that. Liz, you're better than that. I'm just like, no, yeah. And this is one fool, guys. He had a job, but he would always make me pay. Always make me pay.
Wait a minute, I didn't know that.
He would always go to the movies,
even
and then
when
he was
went
like,
to Mills?
yes. He would always, only when he was with other people.
Oh, he was trying to show off, okay.
Yeah. But other than that, and then when he would invite me, I wouldn't eat just because I was like, what now? Before.
You're like, oh.
Yeah. And then he would play the thingy, like we would hold hands. So he'd see somebody at the mall and then let go of my hand. And then even when we were noticing that it was starting to fizzle out, he was just like, oh, what? You know, we're in a good place. You know, I'm not going anywhere. But it was just
Are you sure?
Yeah. And my sisters,
that's gaslighting.
And my brother-in-law, God rest his soul, they were like, he's not allowed in this house. Like, no, yeah, they did not like him.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, my parents.
I just like, he disappeared one day.
Nobody liked him. And even when I told him, I was like, my parents don't like you. And he was like, oh, good. And he was so offended. Like, no, why are you offended? Like, look at your attitude. How you are.
He wasn't gay, guys.
No, but he was just a douche. And then with Mateo. Before we even dated, remember the party bus? Did you come on the party bus?
Probably. Was I drunk?
And probably. And he went, and even I remember my mom was like, oh, this is the Mateo. You know, she talks about you all the time and welcome everybody, like new Mateo.
But I feel like families, they know.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing that I used to date this trash bag, right?
Oh, I know.
Trash.
I already know who it is.
Anyway, my parents hated him, and so did my sister. And I should have known right then and there. If your family does not like the person you're dating, it ain't gonna work out. It's not. It's just not. And I'm like, you don't understand, and oh my gosh, and no, just get to know him better.
And it was just like, we would always defend them to a T. And I remember I would be.
But I was like insulted.
I was insulted too.
The insult was that I actually was embarrassed because I knew. Because you know, when I was dating this trash bag, I'd be like, I just want to find somebody better. Walk away. Yeah. Just keep walking away. Yeah. That's when you know, when you feel like also like you were worth to this other trash bag. It was more like, God, you know, why am I here? Why am I sticking around for somebody who doesn't want me? I also didn't respect him after a while. Yeah. Like I would, So he was really tall, right? A lot of them were. But he had back problems.
We're 5 feet exactly. Well,
I'm not.
I'm 5 feet exactly. So
I'm like 4 on it. Anyway, he was over 6 feet. Anyway, he would have back problems, and we'd have to go to a restaurant, and he'd be like, "Babe, can you ask them to change the table?" Why? I'm fine. You should go and ask them. He couldn't speak up for himself, and I was like, so after a while, I was like, you know what, you're a little bitch. And I should have known then when I'm telling that to his face, I don't like you. I don't want to be with you. I have no respect for you. You gotta go.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to be alone.
That's what it is that learning to be alone. It's like sometimes you have to, and then that year before I got with Mateo, I just wanted to be alone. I was just like, you know what, let me concentrate on myself. I got a dog, Sophia, and that girl saved my life. I know they try to say animals. I see you with your big ass pit bull. Whose dog is that?
It's a Shar-Pei. It's my sister's, but that is my nephew. I love him.
Baby. But
Yoshi is crazy, y'all. He jumped out of the moving car twice.
Oh, that's the word. Oh yeah, my Max, my second dog, he jumped out of it. The cops came. This dude was all
his butt was a little bit scraped up, and he was like,
oh no, my Maxie broke a nail, and he
poor thing.
Yeah, had all scabbed all right here. Thank God, like the vet was right around the corner, took him there.
She was ready to fight.
And then
he was like,
we
on
just
fight
like,
to some.
He's like, just get some Neosporin and put it on here. Animals save.
They love you, and they know.
And they know.
They're like, are you sad? Did a guy break your heart? Without saying it, but they look at you with the eyes and everything like,
because I lived alone for like 5 years and stuff, and had my own apartment, never lived with anybody and stuff. And it wasn't until that once I got with my husband, it clicked. And then that's when I was just like, you know what? I've never lived with anybody.
I just know that your sister was like, she's gonna get married.
Yeah.
I was like, so is this guy for real?
Because everybody goes like, Mateo was in love with you.
It's cute. It's really cute.
And I was like, no. And we were really good friends. And I was like, no. He was dating somebody. I was dating I wouldn't even call him somebody. I was dating trash.
Douche juice.
Yeah, there you go. You'll learn a lot of new words. And it was the same thing. And he would tell me his sad story. I would tell him mine. He even helped me move from one apartment to another. And we were just kind of like, and we were talking and stuff. And then this is where the make up your mind and stop going towards the bad guy and the nice guy. Is just go to the guy. Because the one that gives you the time of day, the one that will be there and help you out. And sometimes it could be your good friend. But
that's true.
With him, it was more like, we're really good friends. I don't want to mess this up. Like,
that's fair.
I can't, because when I turned him down. I said no.
And look where you guys are now.
Yeah. And then it wasn't, he's like, you didn't even give me a chance. But it was just like, I don't want to, if we break up, I'm like, are you friends with any of your exes?
Actually, I'm friends with almost all of them.
Never mind. Well, that's
don't ask me those questions.
And that's another episode.
Some of them are just acquaintances, but some of them, yes. But I believe that's because we had a friendship first.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
yeah.
And then we were like, it ain't gonna work. But then we stayed friends.
Yeah.
I also grew. Like, there's one guy. He was a friend first. It didn't work out, but it was fun. It was great. I was walking on sunshine. I was actually smitten. I have no emotions usually, but I was smitten. And then it didn't work out. And I told myself, instead of like crying over it, being sad, being upset, I was like, you know what? This was fun. This was a great experience. The things I liked about him, I'm going to use as like not to compare and not to go and replace him, but my standards have gotten this much higher now. But my standards keep getting higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
And because he was a total gentleman, open car doors, pick me up every single time. Even as friends, he will still pay for the meal. And I'm like, I own a business. And he's like, I got it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's still always a gentleman.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take this for the good experience that it was and appreciate it. And so when I randomly think about it, I'm not going to be like, I missed that. Because why dwell? You can move on, find it with somebody else. You could love anybody. Come on now.
Yeah, And I think
the homeless people got girlfriends and stuff.
And I think that was the thing where my sisters kept telling him, like, you know, if he would be like, we can just be friends. But when you really like somebody and I was just like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But then we went out one more time, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to give you a chance. We went, he took me out to go get tacos.
And look at what happened.
You don't have to take me out to a $40 dinner. You don't have to impress me. It was just more like, be ready in 10 minutes. I'm coming to pick you up. And it was just like, okay. And we went, and he's very quiet compared to me. When we went and had
that's true. I just realized that.
Yeah, and so that was the first time he finally opened up to me, talked to me, and I was just like, oh. And I was judging a book by its cover, because I was just like, we love to dance. I thought that was the only thing we had in common, and it was so much. And he always turned out for any event, friends, what we're gonna do here. It was you and him. Exactly. And so it was just like, and so I was messing with him, because I was like, you already left me the first day you met me. And he didn't want to admit it, but I know. I know I got this tattoo on me. I know. But it was something clicked while we're sitting there talking. And I was just, I
don't even want the click, y'all.
Really? It was.
I mean, watch me get married next year.
I know. But it was like,
click,
I didn't want it. I didn't want it either until it happened. And he dropped me off at home. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give you another chance.
When you least expect it, it's always the best experience.
Yeah. But being married, he did all this too. A lot of people would say, oh, was the honeymoon over? It was like, no.
No, y'all are
we
really still
continue it.
Stuff.
I still mess with him and be like, remember you used to do this with me? You don't do it anymore. But it's not like it used to, again, because we have a family now,
right,
and we have other responsibilities. But I think in a marriage, to keep it together, and the same thing in a relationship, even if you're not going to get married and you decide to be in a relationship, it should always be 100-100, always. Never be 50-50 and this and that. But I do think when you're not married is you don't need to be like, oh, well, you're not married, you can do whatever the heck you want. Asking permission to go out. I don't ask permission. I'll just say, hey, babe, I'm going to go with Noelle somewhere.
You know what I like, though? Some guys, when I'm dating them, talking to them, messing around, whatever, they'll be like, oh, I'm about to go out, but my friend, you know him. And I'm like, I don't care.
True story, a friend of mine just was telling me, and she was just like, I'm dating this guy, but it's like when I say, oh, I'm going to go out with my girlfriends, we're going to go here, and he's just like, oh, wow. And she's like, oh, what? Like,
do you want to go?
Like, yeah.
Are you butthurt? Do you have friends of your own, sir?
Yeah. And then when he would be like, oh, well, I'm going to go here. And like, oh, if I were to. But I'm just like, you're not married. You just started dating a month.
Oh, so, God, really?
When do I have to, permission? And I'm Mexican. In our culture, you got to, like, oh, the man is you're supposed to never leave your house and this and that. But I'm just like,
the way my freedom is set up,
you can't do it. And I think I broke barriers.
That's
because
good.
I'm like, if I want to go have a drink with my girlfriend and my kid is going to stay with my husband, and so like, we're going every day and stuff, I'm going. Because to keep your sanity.
But I also feel like a lot of people, not all, but a lot, that's a control issue.
Yes.
And you can't control me. The way I am a wildfire. Just saying.
Yeah, same here. I'm one that I don't like to hear no. You can't.
I like to say no.
Yeah, me too.
But you tell me no, the imaginary pearls get clutched. And I'm like, who do you think you are?
Yes.
No, thank you, sir.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's more of respect. I'm not just gonna be like, I'm out. I'm just be like, hey, babe, I'm gonna go. And in the beginning, though, I would say, like, babe, is it okay? And he'd be like, yeah. Like, you're coming back, right? And I'm just like, oh, well, I mean,
But see, that's trust, because I also feel like trust, once it's broken, trust is like glass. Once it's broken, you can't put it back together again. Mm-mm. I don't care how hard you work on it and we go to couples therapy, whatever. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I will never trust you again. Because even if I do put it, there's little shards on the ground that get stuck in your toes and stuff and cause you to bleed. I don't trust you. Mm-hmm. The moment I don't trust you is the moment I have to walk away.
Yeah. And then that's where you become single. Mm-hmm. And that's why when they're like, oh, why? When they try to say, why are you single? Why are you single? Right there. My younger sister, she just got married. She's about to pop soon. But it was the same thing. I would see these jerks, the last jerk, I was just like, oh my God, please give her a good one. But I remember when some person said and someone told the exact same thing to my husband, is you need to stop looking and it will find you unexpectedly. And it wasn't that I was like, give me love, show me love. I want love. But it was, it was the movies. It was a romance. And I'm a hopeless romantic. He's a hopeless romantic. So
I like warm with these guys. I'm not
well, that's why you're texting.
Yeah. I like when people die. No. Just kidding, sometimes.
But it was that. It was just like, I want to fall in love. Like, what was happening? And then finally, it was just like, you know what? I just keep hitting a wall. Like, these losers, I need to wash my hands, figure it out, and do something else. And I did. I moved to a different apartment. I was just like, I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to change my whole life. I'm going to change everything. Start doing things. Got my dog. Started talking to guys, but then when I started seeing right away, it was like, cut them off.
Yep.
Don't linger. I'm not, like you said, I don't have no projects. Is as soon as I see it,
I didn't do them in high school.
Yes, and it would even be like, even friends are like, oh, you don't have a guy for you, and stuff.
You don't know me? No, don't do that.
I was like, all right, you know, if I wanted to, and I'd be like, okay, and then I'd be like, oh my God, why would you do that? I'm like, as soon as he drank, and oh man, I should have told he's not supposed to drink, and I'm like, duh, why wouldn't you have told me that?
Some kind of friend you is.
Yes, it's almost just like, okay, no. And then there's the other issue of baby mamas and baby daddies. Like,
I don't date people with kids. I tried it one time. I'm not doing it again. No, I have a rule. And people are like, but Noelle, you're getting older. Everybody's divorced and has kids now. Oh, well, then I'm going to be single forever. I don't care. I'm not dealing with it. Because my rule is this. People think I'm being selfish and you got to give a guy a chance that has kids. No, because kids love me. I don't love kids. I love kids, but I don't love kids. But kids love me. And so I believe if you are dating someone that has a child and we're just, fucking around to find out, I don't want to meet your kid. I don't. Because the kids will be like, Noelle's so cool. Yeah. Oh my God. And then when I get dumped or I dump you, they're like, where's Noelle?
Right.
I miss her. She's so much fun. And then you see them walking down Target and they're like, Noelle. And I'm like, oh God.
Has this happened before?
No, actually it hasn't, but it happened to my friends. Not me, because I don't date guys.
But no, it's true because it's like you have to think about your kids. So if it doesn't work out,
they go through trauma too. They go through a breakup, and so they're not exempt. And I believe if you are dating someone that has a child, the kid should come first.
Absolutely. For
them and for you, even though that's not your kid. You need to call up the other parent too and be like, yo.
Oh God, there's controversy with that. Because some people are like, oh, I don't want to, but no. We're on the same page with that. Yes.
Y'all got to co-parent together.
Yes, absolutely. Because there's some people like, you need to talk to them. And I'm like, excuse me, have some respect. I need to know. If you had a kid, I need to know who are these bitches that you're bringing around my 100%. Kid. 100%.
And the way I'm going to automatically hate you.
Automatically. Yeah, I'm calling everybody bitches. You're a bitch. You'll always be a bitch. But it's just like, I need to know who you're bringing around my child, because if they do anything to my kid, I'm going to be in jail. Like, I already have my bail money aside because I already know you're going to hurt. You won't die.
I'm either with you, clink, clink.
Yes, but it's like, that's out of respect. You would think, to me, it was
I would think it's respectful if I had a child and somebody called me up and was like, hey, so I'm kind of talking to your ex. I met your daughter or son. I really like them. They really like me. I'll feel away. I'm not going to lie. I'll feel away, but okay.
Of course.
But I'm like, my kid likes them too. Dang.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, because I also don't believe in talking smack about the other parent. Unless they're really trash bags. But I don't believe in that, because that also creates an idea for the kid. And you literally will have children be like, I don't know who to believe. Because what I'm saying about their other people doesn't match the way they're actually treating the kid. Right. That is an issue, and that reflects on me. And then the other thing is, I just look unbothered at all times. Like, I don't care.
No, and
I care, but you don't know it.
Because that's the other thing. And then there's people who have, like, a good friend of mine went through divorce. Bitch is crazy, and went partying and doing everything. He was always stuck with the kids.
Oh, wow.
Until he decided, one day, he never went out. It was his kids, and it is his kids 24/7. He went out, and this bitch was talking shit, was trying to get people to beat him up. Where are my kids? This and that. Like, heifer, you weren't even taking care of your kids.
Do you know your children's name?
Yeah. And even one point, posting videos of herself getting drunk, driving with her mind. Yeah, and I'm like, duh, like, why aren't you reporting this and stuff? And then there's some people that are just like don't want to.
So I'm a mandated reporter adjacent.
Yeah.
Because my friends are all teachers, they're mandated reporters. My sister is a marriage and family therapist, mandated reporter. So
yeah,
if I saw something like that,
I'm like on the.
I mean, I also circumstantially though, you got to see if it's good for the kids,
right?
But
and that's the other thing too. But I'm just like you're one like,
oh,
you know what did you do? But you're the one that you are doing that. So even another friend of mine, she had some crazy lady call her. Oh, I heard you're dating my ex-husband, and he brought the kids around, and I just want to introduce my the attitude. I'm like, why are you calling her? You need to talk to him. Don't be calling her.
That's weird.
And she was even like, you need to talk to him. I have nothing to say. I'm not going to do nothing. She's like, oh, it's good. Like,
yes, if it's like that on site, I'm going to ignore you.
And then that's when, and then I dated guys where they were like, oh, when to bring. I'm like, oh, you need to make sure.
And this is why I don't date people with children. Because the way I am exhausted just hearing these stories.
It's hard because everybody has kids. And
I don't.
Some people are super cool.
Yes.
And some people, sadly, the ones I dealt with were all these bitches were crazy. And so were the guys.
But, okay, so I used to say when people are like, oh, my baby mama's crazy, I'm like, what'd you do to make her crazy?
Yeah.
Because that's a real thing, too.
Yeah, it is.
But some of these hoes are really crazy.
They are. But then even, just some of them, and then I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. And then I feel bad sometimes because it's like, sorry, dog, I can't with you. And then it's like, I'm hurting them. But it's just like, you need to figure that situation out. And there's some people that will take it and stay with them, and kudos to you.
I'm not trying to be a mom.
That's hard.
I'm not trying to be a mom to some kid I don't know that I'll see maybe
and then that's
for a little
thing.
bit.
How am I going to be able to discipline this person? Like, no.
Right, because I feel a way about that, too.
Yeah.
Because if hypothetically, if I had a kid, though, if you discipline my child.
Yeah. And then two is that's why I need to
But
talk
my
to
kids will be well behaved, so they won't need discipline, just saying.
but still is, let's say, like she had her meltdown this morning. Let's say she has a meltdown at her dad's house and with the girl, and then she's like, oh, this and that, and I would be like, I would have that conversation with me saying, she had a meltdown, we talk with her and stuff like that. That's good. We all, like you said, we all got to co-parent.
Absolutely. That's
where we have to talk to each other and get to know each other, because if something like that happens. Because once you break up, sometimes these kids get very close to the girl, the dude, and it breaks their heart. And so it's like, have you talked to them? Somebody's like, oh no, she'll be fine. Like, and then already with the next. And it's
I look at it this way also. People say it's for 18 years. No, it's not. It's for life. Because if they get married, I got to come to this wedding now. And baby mama over there is there too. And I got to take a photo with all these kids and all this. It's forever.
That's not that I judged Judy. She was just like, that's blood. The blood that's not going to go away. I know, like you said, 18 is no.
But who picked that?
Because when it's Father's Day or Mother's Day, where are they going? That's going to be another hard thing for them. And it's like, stop putting these kids in the middle of your problems. Your kids are not, supposed to fix everything. And so that's why some people are like, oh, have like 3 or 4 baby mamas and stuff. And then again, I'm not judging, but I am. But it is like,
I'm hella judging.
Some people that is just like, why do you have to spread your seed to everybody?
The other thing is, when you got that many baby mamas at that point, you also just babysit your kids. Nick Cannon.
What's the other one? The football player. Terrell Owens? I can't remember. He has like 20 kids. He has like 20 kids and stuff. By like hell of women too. And it's just like.
So he went and whipped it out.
And then what's crazy is that even when Nick Cannon, are you with anybody or are you single?
In my mind, I think Mariah has trained her children to be like, I don't know them.
I think so. But it's like, it's so confusing. So it's like, if you want to, that's why they created condoms and birth control and stuff. It's just like, they didn't create that shit just be like, oh, look at this, you can put on a banana if it's a banana. It's no, like, put it on too, like, fix yourselves. But it's like, oh, I just feel comfortable. Like, you guys are dumb with that excuse. And then the girls, if you believe that shit, you're even dumber than the dudes, because that's not like how it's supposed to be. And so even if being married and stuff, same thing. It's just like it's between him and I'm not gonna go to the bar and have a good time with everybody and forget about my husband that I have at home. You're not single anymore. Once you get married, it's just that person, unless you have an arrangement and that you all know about. That's something else.
And I got opinions on that one too, but we'll talk about
that I don't agree about and stuff. But you know, I'm married, and again, I'll go out once in a blue. We're like those videos when the girls are like, "Oh, we're gonna go out," and then after it, they're like in their sweats. That's how we are.
Every day.
That's how we
single,
are.
guys.
And it's stuff, and it's just not. It's like we
the way I
work.
love my bed.
We work. we work. We have jobs. Like you just came out of work to come here. Is thank God I don't work on the weekends, but I was working being a mom, and my baby girl passed out.
It's cute though.
But it's not easy. That is a lot of work. So being married or being single, you know, that question is, it's like we gotta stop forcing people to get married.
But I also think a lot of things that people don't realize is that the way I look at marriage, if I did get married, if I got in a relationship, guys, I want a best friend. The way I'm like with Liz. We laugh together, we're interested in the same things, we have fun together, but I'm also like, oh, okay, she hung out with those people, don't care, have fun, it looks like fun, you know, like the photo, whatever, not get jealous, none of those things, but also like the way we communicate. If I got an issue with you, I mean, we don't have issues, but if I got an issue with you, I'm gonna be like, Lizzie, so you kind of hurt my feelings, you know, and a lot of people don't know how to communicate, but I also feel like it doesn't match. Women look for one thing, men look for another thing. Men look for moms. They look for moms. And then not all guys,
but some women look for their dads
and
too.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But men, the way I hear like talking amongst single friends and everything, like, oh well, if I had a girlfriend and we got to live together, she'd have to cook, clean, you know, do the stay-at-home stuff. Okay, cool, but you don't have a castle for me. I make more money than you. Sometimes
that's bad. That's the bad thing. Oh, you know, you
I come home later. I mean, for me, I own my own business. I am tired. I am exhausted. I'm an unlicensed therapist, guys. Like, people talk to me all the time and it's draining. And then I gotta come home, and then if I'm in a situation where I gotta do all of the extra, like, why do you get time to relax and unwind afterwards?
Yeah.
And I gotta go hit the kitchen.
And you know,
I don't cook either. I'm a good cook, but I don't cook.
Well, that goes back to the 1950s or before man was made, is that we were supposed to be in the kitchen. You know, we weren't allowed to do that.
And women needed men back then. They couldn't buy houses. They couldn't get credit cards. They couldn't open bank accounts.
We weren't allowed to do anything.
I would have been Bonnie without the Clyde.
And then even too, it was the same thing when I would get home and this person we knew, and they were just like, oh, I wish my husband would help. And I was just like, I'm not.
What you allow is what will continue.
Exactly. And it was because the same thing. He would see me coming home and I would be exhausted and I would be like, oh God, I have to do this. And I'm one that I can't sit still. I'm always good. He's even like, sit your ass down, want to stop cleaning. But that's a good thing. It's just a habit of mine. But then he would be, and even sometimes I'm gonna be like, oh, you know, he cooks and oh, he does the laundry. If he gets home before me, I have everything ready. Can you just start it up? Or can you put the clothes in the washer, or I have it parted?
True story. My parents are going to get mad at me for this, but I'm going to tell it. Anyway, when they first got married, my dad was like, you did the laundry wrong. Guess what? My dad's been doing the laundry for 40 years. Because my mom was like, oh, no. If you don't like it, do it yourself. And you know what? My dad has been doing his laundry his way. Since before I was born.
Yeah. And I think it's just, if you like things, like, I like doing the bed. He tries, he does the bed, but it's like, no, you're not doing it my way. And it's not the right way, the wrong way, it's my way. So I'll do it. I'm like, I'll just do it. But even when he tries to do it, it's just like, dang, he just did my bed. And he did it right, hospital corners. Oh, snap. So it's just like being married.
But you also learn the person, and so you do things to help them.
Exactly.
You make their life easy, they make your life easy.
Right.
It's not one of these things where you're a whole burden.
And then there you go. It's not like being married is you have to do this and that. We just committed ourselves to each other. We committed ourselves.
I don't want to love nobody else.
Yeah.
That's my best friend.
Right. Exactly.
That's it.
And then in being single is you committed to yourself. And that's great. It's because there's so much pressure, stereotypes. You have to do, this and that and stuff. And it's just more like now that time is going by, and it's just more like mind your business.
But you know what? The last thing I want to say, I'm nobody's emotional punching bag. That is why I'm single. Because a lot of these people are emotionally unavailable, and they use other people to help with their emotions, but they don't know how to handle their emotions. So then when I come into the mix, I'm like, oh, you got problems? Bye.
And then the same thing. I'm married. I'm not that too. My husband, we communicate in a way where we're not going to do this. And if we have a problem, okay, now we got to sit down and talk
if you have, say you're depressed, I can help you by being a friend, be like, oh, I don't want you to be depressed. Let's go outside and enjoy the sunshine or whatever. But I'm not going to take on that burden, because only you can change your mindset to get better. A lot of men, because of society, have not learned how they're only angry and happy. And so they look to women because we're too emotional. We're just in tune, in tune. And so they look to women to be, like I said, that emotional punching bag. I gotta raise some kids. I gotta
so you can't carry on a guy and his issues and his problems, and you need to take care of that before you even think about getting married.
They need to take care of that stuff on their own. Go get a therapist.
And then that's why
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, somebody, anybody.
Yes,
the homeless guy that sells crack on the street. If somebody will listen to you, I'm not.
Yeah, we ain't taking care of nobody.
No, siree, Bob, that's not my job. Just saying,
because we ain't got time for that. And that is just sounds like a personal problem.
Right.
And like you always say, kick rocks.
And open toe shoes. It hurts more.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're going to be going more into topics and stuff. If you guys have any topics of your own, please go ahead and comment. Remember, nice comments, and if you
because I will clap back.
Exactly, she will.
And I'm not nice.
But at the same time, if you don't like us, you don't need to watch us. But if you do like us, I ask you to push that subscribe button, that notification bell.
It too.
Like us, and like we said in the beginning, I'm Liz. This is Noelle, and this is
Mind Your Business
podcast. Thanks, guys.
Toodles.
Hey, hold up, everyone here for a good time. These nights you don't stop till you see the sunshine. You ain't tryna turn up, baby, that's a blunt sign. All you showing me is that you ain't the fun kind. Fuck it, no harm, no foul. I ain't tripping if that's your style. Go ahead and act like you high profile. We gon' be right here where the folks go.